they thought it might be, they were able to measure off about a 50-foot area that it was located at, maybe, possibly, but they could not really determine the cause of the fire.
And even that being said, could they even determine whether it was from the inside or from the outside?
Yes, sir, it was from the inside.
It was from the inside. Thank you.
Any other questions for Chief? All right, item 10. Consider and approve City of Crockett begin responding as EMS first responders, authorizing Chief Anderstein to act on behalf of the City of Crockett in all matters related to the state and the EMTC agreement. Chief.
Council, we've spoken of, I know, over the last few months that this is a direction that I really believe that the city should be providing this service as first responders, responding along with ETMC in most events ahead of them when on incidents when they're responding from out of town. The total of calls, I told you it's going to be hard to estimate the total run numbers, and I think that's really that shouldn't be one of our considering points. I believe we could definitely, with the manpower we have, the equipment that we currently have, the training that we have, we can provide those services, and I believe it's a liability if we don't. Having the ability to do so and to not be able to do it. I would just like y'all's approval for me to go into an agreement with ETMC where they would provide us the equipment and all the needed supplies to be running these calls, and also to sign the contract with the paperwork with the state to become medical providers under the state of Texas as first responders.
Council, questions for Chief Anderstein?
Could you elaborate? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I got one. Do you think from the call between ETMC and you guys, you could take some valuable time just in case ETM is out somewhere else doing it?
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
We are local. We are here in town during the days like during the 7 days a week. We are at that station or around town on other business. We could be responding to a medical emergency, and we would have to use critical criteria to eliminate the incessant need of responding to calls of minor emergencies, only cardiac events, not breathing events. Something that we could be of use and shave that time response from ETMC when they're coming from Lovelady or Trinity. We're here in town. We wouldn't be able to transport, but we could stabilize the patient, provide oxygen, some cardiac drugs, perform CPR, and such like.
I spoke with some of the other departments in the county, visiting about first responding.
Yes.
Obviously, those departments out in the county have established that due to East Texas Medical Center ambulances are not sitting inside their city limits,
Right. Yes.
like they are here.
Yes.
I know they do get out on calls.
Right.
I'm kind of curious of what our contract with East Texas Medical Center, how it deals with their response time.
Yes.
Between the city of Crockett and East Texas Medical Center. Is there any kind of wording in the agreement of what their response time is supposed to be within the city?
No, sir. We have in our contract with ETMC, we do not have any time requirements on their responses. When they came to us, they say we will try to provide this, but there's no contract on if they go over that time limit. If they go over that time limit, there's no penalty or no repercussion. No, sir. Such as other cities do have that. Trinity, Athens area, they do have that, but that also comes with them trying to figure out how are they going to designate a truck for that area. A lot of times they'll have to designate a truck that will not leave the city limits, which lowers their responses that they can provide for transport to Tyler or such, for appointments and surgeries.
So was that something?
So a lot of times-
The last time we discussed it in a meeting with ETMC EMS, the subject of subsidy came up. If we were to place any type of time restrictions into the contract, then ETMC would come back to the city of Crockett and request a subsidy of an unspecified amount in order for them to have that dedicated vehicle staying in town to accomplish that goal.
There are no state requirements as far as response times on that? I realize there may be an exception, but
There's
on
guidelines.
average?
Yes.
Sorry?
There's guidelines by the state.
Right.
Guidelines by the state says that you will respond within 9 minutes of receiving a 911 call. That's fire and EMS. Those 9 minutes are guidelines only. If they do go over that, they lose favor with the state, but with the city of Crockett, if we do not have that in contract, there's no direction that we can handle that unless, and most of the time they will come back with a subsidy, and that will pay for an additional ambulance and staffing that's dedicated to Crockett. They at no time will leave the city limits. They work on that type of a basis, so that it'll have to justify another truck, another paramedic and EMT staffing. That's what the subsidy will be.
All right. Could you elaborate a little bit on what ETMC brings to us as far as the supplies and such?
Oxygen tanks, they would refill them and give us new oxygen tanks as we complete our oxygen. That's kind of costly. Any supplies, basic bandaging, gauze, seat collars, backboards, AEDs. They provide the AEDs, the external defibrillators, the heart monitors that we're able to, in case of a cardiac event. Depending on our contract, aspirin, some nitroglycerin in case of a chest pain. All of your base, anything that we would incur by responding there, we do keep a limited supply right now, but we do not respond because we're not covered by the state. But we do in case we're on an accident, for instance. When we're already there, we have a duty to act. And in those cases, we do provide that already. So those supplies and materials that we purchase would be eliminated through ETMC. They would help us out on all that.
And then what exactly do we bring?
We bring the manpower
and a vehicle.
and the certificate, the people that are able to provide that, yes, sir.
But I'm saying a vehicle as well.
Yes,
if you use one of our current
transportation, yes, sir. And we could definitely use one of our current vehicles. I don't see a problem with that.
Based upon the analysis of the events as well as the positioning of the likely time of day when ETMC is not in position, most of that will happen during the daytime hours when the full-time firemen are in the station.
Mr. Councilman Jones pointed out about the outlying cities. We're in that situation daily where there's not an ambulance in the city. Due to other transports, if a Trinity ambulance catches a call also, they will send the only ambulance in Crockett to Lovelady to balance the two cities. So if they're responding from Lovelady, which happens regularly, we would be there within minutes to take that. Instead of a 15-minute response time, we'll be there.
But that's my concern. We're going to take up the slack for the East Texas Medical Center lack of coverage. We're going to have to take that on. My concern is offering